Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 205, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode weekly and release it on all podcast services. So do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, and subscribing to our YouTube channel, the CFG channel, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. If you want to throw some ducats our way and support the podcast itself, you can become a VIP member by going to the CFG.store for some extra goodies and some extra incentives. Anyways, it's your boy, Davies, aka CFG Games, and with me today I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg? And I know what y'all are thinking, because y'all thought that I wasn't going to
I was so ready for it, dude. And this dude, all I'm thinking is this dude switched it up on us. How dare he take away that laughing moment from us?
I actually appreciate it. My head hurts so bad I can't laugh real hard because I don't cough.
That's the only reason Doc is here. He was waiting for the moment.
No. After I saw that Google podcast is leaving, I'm like, I'm going to have to change it. So I might as well do it. I'm going to do it.
I love that you kept it a secret too.
Yeah. Wait, y'all make y'all look stupid. That's what. Lex, how's it going? What you up to?
Oh man, I gamed a lot this week. I only streamed once because I kept having to I'd play for a few hours, then I have to go lay down for a little bit, play for a few hours, go lay down for a little bit. But I am immersed in the world of PALs. I am very much enjoying it. I can't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. And last night, Dust got up at 3:30 out of his office. He's like, I'm done. I can't play anymore for the night. I was like, I'm not feeling so great. I'm just going to wait out my eggs. And then they kept taking longer to hatch. I was like, oh no. So I was like, I'll go wash my face and brush my teeth. When I come back, it'll be ready. And because somebody likes to steal my eggs. I don't know who it is, but I will find you.
Donk.
But yeah, so I've been having a lot of fun, and I don't know, I'm a resource hoarding kind of person. I always have been. Even when I played Monster Hunter, everything I could pick up went straight in my backpack. I'm taking it with me. I'm gonna need this at some point, obviously, or else it wouldn't be here, right? So I'll go around and like, boys, do we need any palladium? I'll be right back. Or I like going night hunting is what I call it. Because in video games, if you don't know, I don't see very well. There is a lot of blue in the game. So I do have a little bit of tough time seeing certain things. But they're these little green glowing statues. And you pick them up. And the more you pick up, the more you can upgrade your stuff. Your person, rather, as far as ability to catch things, which obviously you need, duh. So I go night hunting and I go through all the little cliffs and I find a bunch of them, and then I come back and upgrade myself. So I've been having a lot of fun. Yeah. It's enjoyable.
Okay, good.
I also kill things a lot. I feel really bad about it, and it's a video game, and I shouldn't. But
no, I mean some of those deaths are kind of crazy. I would say.
Yeah,
especially how you can do this, how you can basically, you could do it to the monsters and you can do it to other people, which is crazy to me.
You can also capture people. I don't do that, but yes, you can, and you can sell them to a merchant.
I've tried.
Oh my god!
I have tried opening up the slave market.
Oh my god!
Indentured servant, sir.
Right.
Can't say that.
I mean, we pay them in berries.
Yes.
So they are exchanging their labor for berries. So
that is terrible. That is terrible. But hey, Lex.
Yeah.
You know who's going to be the next slave driver in Pal World? Apparently.
His name is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Chilling, my friends. Same. I'm playing in the same server as Lex, so it's been a lot of fun playing Power World. I didn't get a lot playing in just because the little had strep, or one of the littles had strep last week, so she was at home for a few days and whatnot. And then, other than that, though, it was real chill. I did a live stream of putting together the gaming news show. So that was cool to be able to do that and just kind of show people the process there. But, other than that, I'm excited. I've got some things coming up next week. We've got a, Lethal Company tournament that I am in for StarPower.ai. Those are the folks that I worked with during TwitchCon to create an AI avatar, which now is actually in the stream, that can be used like when things pop off and whatnot. And then on the 4th, we've got Gamer Fest going on out here. You can get tickets on Eventbrite. It's free, but there's going to be all kinds of colleges. There's going to be celebrities, athletes. They're going to be there. So I'm going to be there all day. I believe that's a Sunday.
Oh, wow.
But it's going to be a great time, just being able to hang out, and there's going to be tournaments and live music and stuff like that. So it should be dope. Everything is, it's going good, man.
Man, that's good, dude. That's very good. I mean, you seem like you're gonna have a busy schedule here the next month or so.
So, absolutely.
Hey, that's good. Can't ask for anything more, really, to be honest with you. So
yeah, exactly. What about you, man? How was your week, brother?
Oh, it was going great, actually. I've been working around the clock, as I always do, with our website as well. I am trying to get something set up with a collaboration with a board game company, which is surprisingly enough. So hopefully I'm going to get that going here soon and be talking about a really cool event for possible charity. I'm not sure yet. So, but we'll see what's going to happen there. But then also just been playing Final Fantasy 15 as much as I possibly can, which has been very narrow. I only played it once this whole week, which sucks. And Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth comes in almost a month. We have almost 1 month ago.
Yes, I can't wait, dude.
Ooh, so crazy. And get this though, too. I mean, I
can't wait.
Just this week alone, there's just so many games that just came out all at the same time. I mean, Tekken 8 came out. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth came out this week too. And like also it was just so many different cool games that's just bombing, going crazy. It's been going crazy. Just had not enough time to mess around with it. Yeah, Relink. I mean, it's just been ridiculous, So yeah, there's just so much to deal with and go with just so much to play. It's not even funny. We just like only have two hands, and only have certain a finite amount of time. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, but it's cool. So but yeah, and I still haven't touched Power World yet, but I'm not in any hurry, to be honest with you. I mean, I think it's gonna be there. If it stays consistently the way it's gonna be consistently, I should have nothing to worry about when it officially comes out or whatever. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. Especially I know how as much
we'll
as
talk about it.
Yeah. So
we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I know y'all don't want to talk about the slave trade in the game Power World. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion in the world of video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry. And we don't want to talk about amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, to be a part of the conversation. So if there's anything that you want to add or chime in about whatever we talk about, by all means, just type it inside the chat. We would love to discuss it with y'all and just go from there. So, so this week I will go first, and I want to talk about some unfortunate news, like as always, because basically the trend from last year was layoffs, and we thought that we were not going to be hearing more of this or more and more of this, but it seems like I think this is probably the worst one of the worst ones that's been out for a while. So Microsoft just recently announced that they canceled Blizzard's they did two things which is crazy. They first canceled Blizzard's survival game which was codenamed Odyssey. Which, first off, had no idea Blizzard was making a survival game, which was insane.
Right?
Like insane. And I just can't even imagine how that game would be like in a Blizzard format. So that's just going to be kind of weird. So that game is no more for right now. And then two, on top of that, the second whammy is that Microsoft also slashed nearly 1,900 jobs. I believe it was like 1,860 something jobs from their gaming division. Now they say their gaming division itself, but most of those jobs was Activision Blizzard, which is like, I don't even know what the percentage is. Was that 35% of their gaming division total? So
no,
I mean, 1,800 really? Is a lot. 35. I mean, dude, 1,800 is a pretty big chunk.
That's a big company, though.
Huh? Yeah, but
Microsoft is a big company, though.
They are a big company. That's why 1,800's. Well, then again, keep it. How many gaming studios do they have? They have to have at least almost 20 different gaming studios.
I have no idea, but yeah.
I'm just saying specifically in their gaming division itself, not Microsoft, because Microsoft is way too big for that. You're totally right. But like if you're isolating them into the specific in their gaming side, that's a pretty. I'm not going to say 35% then, but it's a lot still, regardless. Now, given the fact, I can understand with the double the amount. The Activision Blizzard is a recent acquisition of Microsoft. There's definitely going to be certain positions that were going to be overlapping that they wouldn't need. So that's definitely some of the reasons why they got rid of so many. But another big thing was that they were also, I think it's also reconstruction, because like the biggest thing with Activision Blizzard is that they're needing to change their image like overall is one of the biggest deals. Now, not saying that because of that's why they did it, but I can easily understand that some of these positions were higher up positions, as well as besides just developers and other stuff and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised. Even the president of Blizzard left because of this. I forgot his name. The president of Blizzard himself, that was the face
Mike Ibarra.
Yeah, thank you. Mike Ibarra is gone from Blizzard due to these recent slashes itself, which is freaking crazy. The number I saw was the gaming division is 20,000. So okay, so yeah, so that's a pretty big chunk, and if that's the case, yeah. So it's about what's 10%? What's 10% of 20,000? So about 5%. 5% of the gaming.
That's like 5%. It's decibel over and double it, so 4,000 people. If it's 20,000.
Yeah, so I'd say about 5%. But so it's a pretty big chunk. So so Mike Ibarra's gone as the president of Blizzard, and so they're definitely they're shifting things around with this big time, and for them to be losing that many people, and then mixed with them losing stopping just completely canceling a job or canceling a game like that. Because I think the biggest thing is that they're saying Odyssey has been canceled because one of the biggest reasons was because that the engine that it was using just was not ready, and it was not where they were wanting it to be for it. So that
what engine were they using?
I think it was an in-house engine. Hold on, let me see what it was.
That
Here it is. One of Odyssey's main roadblocks was the engine. The project was prototyped the Unreal Engine, but according to Bloomberg, Blizzard executives wanted the team to use a different one that would support the ambitious plan to having 100 players in the game's world at once, and Unreal couldn't handle that. So and then in came Synapse, which is an internal engine the company had developed for mobile games. So they made their own engine. And this engine came with a host of problems, prompting artists to continue working in Unreal despite knowing the work would get scrapped anyways. So they were so basically the technology just was not there for them to make for it to work. But they tried anyways, and it was a swing and a miss. So I mean, it's unfortunate that a lot of people lost their jobs on this, and as always, we definitely hope that they come back on their feet, unless if that person is what's his name, Bobby Kotick. So other than that, yeah, so I mean, that happened, but even that was the worst of it. But then also another thing that happened was that Riot Games also experienced some layoffs too. They, excuse me, they shut down their smaller studio, Riot Forge, completely. And they're shifting. I think they lost how many? Was it 530? They eliminated 530 roles globally, which is about 11% of their workforce completely from all of this. So they realized, I mean, here's some of the good news. First off, these people are Microsoft employees. They're taking care of these people that have lost their jobs very, like, with the really fair severance packages and stuff like that. As far as we're concerned, it's from what they're telling us. But at the same time, it just sucks when you just hear this, especially when you hear the continuation of all these layoffs happening consistently throughout the past 7 months. It's just been one after the other, like dominoes, just getting crazier and crazier. So I was just kind of wanting to get what y'all's feel is on what's going on with all of this.
Well, it's extra painful when the next day you announce that you're a $3 trillion company as well. I feel like that's kind of salt in the wound there with Microsoft. But here's the deal. And this has been going on since, I mean, it started, I feel like, towards the end of 2022 into 2023. This is going to continue into 2025. It might slow up a little bit, but this is the impact from 2020 when companies overinflated themselves based off of those projections. And now they're having to reverse that because the projections have changed drastically, especially with the fact that we are now at our new normal. So people aren't indoors. They're not doing all the, stuff digitally. People are back outside and they've gotten back to what they do. So I think a lot of it is just the fact. And again, this is where this comes down to, I feel like, a lot of companies that just overinflated themselves. And then now they have to reduce that based off of current day trends and what's going on economically, really. So I think that we're going to continue to see, even though they're making profits and whatnot, I think it's a proactive move because eventually they're essentially just hemorrhaging money in places that aren't necessarily needed based off of what projections are saying now. Beforehand, I think that if it had trended, the way that, like, when 2020 hit throughout 2020 into 2021, maybe then they could justify that. But everything slowed down. So there's no way that they could justify, and eventually that's going to start cutting into their profits, I imagine. So they're proactively getting rid of, positions, redundancies, things like that. And that's not a surprise on the Microsoft side. We knew that them gobbling up ABK, there's going to be redundancies. And I think they also took that opportunity, obviously, to cut off and eliminate other positions. Regardless, it sucks that people are losing their jobs, but that's working in the corporate world. We know that. What's even more, and I'm curious to see what the impact is on a much younger level. This is not very like, hey, you should jump into game design, game development, things in the game industry at all. If anything, this is making me like, whoa, maybe I want to question going into this industry because this is hella volatile. And, I don't know that I want to go down that path. So, that's where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm. Lex, what were you going to say? Sorry.
There's an oversaturation in the market for sure. And again, Smitty basically said everything I was probably going to say. But no. During COVID, we had an issue as far as we can't go outside, right? And projections were very different then than they are now. Things are getting scrapped left and right from a lot of companies. A lot of companies doubled and tripled how many employees they had, right? So in the grand scale, it's not a lot of people being let go, but it is, right? So it is, but it isn't. Like, a lot of these companies are still double the size that they were like during COVID, but again, with acquisitions, you're going to have 17 people that are all doing the same job and you only need 4, right? Somebody's got to go. And that it sucks, but it is kind of just, it is what it is. You know, thankfully, a lot of these people are being taken care of from what we know. Will that change? Maybe we'll hear things later down the line, but you know, I feel like there's a lot of oversaturation. There's a lot of people in the market, but you know, with game design, with that type of work, you can also move into like 3D with movies. So you're not just limited to just games. You could work in the movie world and vice versa, right? So hopefully there's some room for movement. You know what I mean?
Okay, but here's the one thing I'm really kind of wondering about it. Because like I mean, yeah, I definitely understand with the acquisition, the merger, and the things like that. However, there is also the difference between excuse me, like dude, 1,800 was it? No, yeah, about over 1,800 jobs, even with the overlaps and stuff on one studio to be that big. For the crazy for that is a little crazy. Like I understand why Riot did it. Riot is exactly what you were saying, Smitty. About like know like they're overcorrecting themselves on what the chances are, because Riot did go all in on trying to do a lot of projects at the same time and then trying to push like unrealistic like metrics to things that they shouldn't get, or like or the position that what's it called that merger that deal that they were going to do with the
Embracer Group
with
and Savvy Games.
Yeah, Embracer Group and Savvy Games, and that fell through because of the same kind of situation for that. Yeah, but like, dude, like I mean, even despite 1,800 people, that's a lot. And plus, on top of that, the president is gone from like I think the mix of the fact that they decided to scrap a game, period, on top of, because like how game developers are, like they don't really work for the company, they work for the project of the company within, unless you're especially when you're getting extra people to kind of push in on the spots that you don't really necessarily need. And then once that project is done, then they'll let you go for the situation. Like, I mean, and especially a big company like Activision Blizzard doing a secret game like Odyssey, which no one ever like they kept to their chest, because if someone's said that they knew that was coming out, I wouldn't believe them, because I did not even know this at all. Like I'm assuming this is a AAA title for them. Like there's no way that I could not see Activision Blizzard just trying to do this as a side project and not try to push this thing out as a big thing. So that's already in itself alone a lot of different positions in itself, So I think the maximum between like what Microsoft, like how Microsoft is losing that many people, because like that is quite a lot of people for overcorrection is what I'm saying. Because all the other ones, like when PlayStation got hit, I think it was 50 something people, and then also from not Santa Monica studio, but from one of the bigger studios, it was 50 something people. Then there was I think some of the worst ones from last year was about maybe 60 or 70 or something. But just these two alone, and just these two hits, 540 and 1,800, is quite far fetched. Is all I'm saying. I think that's an extreme overcorrection, in my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, I think the other thing you got to think about, I feel like at least within gaming trends, you had a lot of companies pushing real hard for live service games for some reason, and they failed and crashed and burned and crashed, because making live service games is not easy. But I felt like we have gotten to a place where it's more about the quantity as opposed to the quality. And I feel like this also may be having an impact where they may be shifting to making more quality games as opposed to the quantity that we're getting. Look at Pokemon. They threw out garbage. They went super, I was like, that is an aggressive release schedule. And we saw the effects of that. We saw broken games. We saw a game. This is a great game, but there's all these shenanigans, you know what I mean? And things like that. So like, and this, I think, is a good thing, but I think this also may factor in because you had a lot of people and they were trying to do the free to play model and this and that. And they saw that this is like, it's no longer has that shiny new feeling that it once had. People want the next thing. They're ready for something. People want different things. We don't need the same thing repackaged and reskinned as other stuff. People are over it. Those games, I feel like, will always struggle unless, I mean, there's a few that like you get like maybe some sort of surprise hit or whatever, but people move on pretty quickly now. There's an overabundance of games for people to be able to move that are even within the same genre that they write or that they like. And they can say, well, I'm over this game. I'm going to switch over to this game now, or this game has too many bugs at launch, so I'm just not going to play it. Or we just get fake games like the day before. It is wild, son. Yeah. It is wild. But I think that with that, I think that also may be some of the effects of it. And I think it was probably smart on Microsoft's, at least for right now, because it does seem weird that Blizzard's, or was it Blizzard or Activision that was working on the survival game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, what?
That doesn't
seem weird.
It's not really.
It seemed weird. Yeah, that seemed like something out of left field.
It seems like maybe it was a passion project and it was not very good when they brought it to the board. The board was like, what is this? I don't know.
But it said, no, we're going to divert those resources to something that's going to be successful.
Thanks for your help on this presentation, but I think we're going a different direction.
Yeah,
I've heard that before.
They totally shut that down. Like, oh no, we've seen this movie before. We don't want to dish our money in on this project. So we're just gonna 86 this immediately before it's too late.
Exactly. And that's the kind of oversight that I was at least hoping that we get from Microsoft with that acquisition, because they've been running on shenanigans for quite some time. So I think there's going to be even more. And I think we are like, this is just the beginning of that stuff. I think we're going to continue seeing this trend throughout this year into next year. And then it might start settling down. But I would not be surprised if we continue to see more and more cuts. And again, we're not even talking about it, but there was somebody else underneath the Embracer umbrella that also had layoffs as well last week. Mm-hmm.
Oh, who was that?
Yeah. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. Okay. But yeah. There was another one as well, underneath them, but I've been watching, son.
So no one's safe. We just basically just need to keep an eye out, and hopefully these people get their jobs, find something in the future here, which I'm sure they will. I mean, I just don't think. I mean, like, I just don't think that it just sucks when you just keep hearing this so consistently, this several for every month. Like, I don't think we've had a month off and about video game layoffs in the past like since the summer. So it's just like you said, like you're estimating, you're saying till the end of till 2025, which is,
I think it'll go at least into 2025.
Yeah, so yeah, that's unfortunate. All right, well, Lex, what are you bringing?
It is my turn. Well, bad news. Apparently, the sexual harassment we did not leave in 2022 and 2023. Nay. It's here in 2024, sadly. However, it seems to be that a lot of this took place in 2023. So there is a studio owner called Creighton. If you know PUBG and Callisto Protocol, Creighton. They're currently being sued in the state of California by a former employee who alleges she was sexually assaulted at an industry event, which happened to be following the Game Awards. in quotes, suffered egregious sex harassment and sexual assault from Kimball, who is Kevin Kimball. Yep, head of business and strategy. And she was fired when she brought up the allegations. It sucks. Like, so she goes to allege that her complaints about this behavior were ignored by Creighton for 2 months. So she went directly to him, but I don't know if she got HR involved and things along that lines. What we do know is that she filed with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, and she was granted a right to sue. So this isn't just a little accusation. This is big time. And it seems that there were a lot of people at this event. So witnesses are probably going to come forward. We don't know too much yet as far as what's going to happen. Obviously, with court cases, you're not really supposed to discuss them to a degree, right? It's kind of like playing a deck of cards. You don't want the other person to know what hand you're holding, right? So here we go again. I don't understand. Alcohol is not an excuse for your crappy behavior. Let's just put that out there. Ever. Alcohol usually enhances things. A soft no should just be enough, right? Especially if it's an employee. Come on. But yeah, I just...
Wait,
I feel it
happened at the Game Awards, like the incident
after the Game Awards. Yep.
Well, you said after, but like what? So
it was at a party, so it was an industry event.
So it was a post show party.
Party following the Game Awards on December 8th, 2022 is when this happened. She still worked for the company in 2023. She confronted Kimball directly. I'm assuming she also went to the HR department and was absolutely ignored until February 15th when she was then fired. So that's when she went to the California Board of Fair Employment and Housing, and that's when she was granted the right to sue. So she clearly has enough evidence. They're not just gonna
say, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's got to be something there. So I was curious what you guys thought. I feel like deja vu, right?
Well,
gosh, come on now.
This one has like a paper trail behind, like a pretty clear paper trail behind all of this. And what's even crazier, well, I guess I don't understand. Is it the individual is suing, or is the state suing?
Correct.
The state suing the person?
Like, as far as I know, she. Yep. She then filed claims with the California department. So I believe it is her. Now, if it's substantial enough, as far as I'm aware, California can then turn around and sue essentially on her behalf because they are going against the Fair Employment and Housing. But California will sue them on top of what she's suing. Does that make sense? I'm not a lawyer, but I know a little bit.
I mean, like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it sucks. It sucks when you hear stuff like this, especially. But what's even worse is the fact of how they, like when they say when HR says like, "Oh, just please tell us something and tell us, then we'll take care of it," and then you hear this is how they take care of it. It just irritates you. Like, just like how do you trust like a company to for these kind of things?
Right.
And what's even worse is that you shouldn't stay silent about this. You're definitely needing your voice to be heard about this, so the appropriate actions can be taken care of. But it angers. Like, it angers you that they automatically just went. I'm assuming they didn't even hear the situation or the story at all, but they felt like that was enough to get her to lose her job if everything is what she if everything is allegedly happened. That they decided to let her go because of it. It's just so shitty. It's not even funny. So like,
yeah,
I just wish that people just like do the right freaking thing. Is all I'm saying. It's just
right.
so insane.
HR departments are supposed to stay objective, right? Like, yes, you work for this company, but your position is objective, regardless if you're friends with your big boss, your big boss's boss, whoever. Someone comes forward with a complaint, you're supposed to investigate that and take that seriously, and also keep in contact with the person. Obviously, that doesn't seem to have happened, which makes me concerned for the future that women aren't going to keep coming forward because this is how they are treated at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Did they, I don't know, man. It's just,
we don't know a lot, so.
I'll let you see what you think.
Well, number one, it's crazy that it always blows me away that this happened December of 2022, and we're only now like hearing about it. As a person that worked at a private company, that there were many years that there was no HR at all within the company. And again, I'm not saying that this is the case here, but it makes me want to look at, at least within that industry, like, how does stuff like this keep happening? Like, it can't just be a coincidence that all these people, that all this crazy stuff is happening, even in some places where they did have clear HR representatives, but people aren't doing anything. Like, it's too much of a coincidence to me, you know what I mean? So it's like, what companies are they hiring that are working this HR stuff? What kind of punishments? And again, I know they don't have to say this stuff as a company, but like, what kind of repercussions are these people happening or are having that, is going to prevent stuff like this from happening in the future? There's not even like, it hasn't even been slaps on the wrist. People have been walking away with their Monopoly bag money, and saying, well, sorry guys, I guess I'm just retiring. I'm out. I'll go off into the sunset. But it's like, where's the punishment and repercussions for these kinds of things happening? I think there's a big division between the heinous acts and things that we're hearing. And this is stuff that I've believed has always happened. This is that old culture coming up, that loyalty to companies and this and that. The BS that they try feeding us, that it started as older millennials at least, or probably Gen X, where it's like, look, dude, like, I don't believe in that. Like, I can see, just like everybody else, like, companies will get rid of your ass like that. They got no problems, son. Oh, you died? I got somebody in the to take over. You are a culty in a machine. Yeah, exactly. It was very culty. Back in the day, though, it really was like that, where a company would take care of you for that loyalty. Right. Those days are long gone. But they try to basically not brainwash. I don't know, that's pretty harsh, but like, they try to indoctrinate you, I feel like, in at least believing that mentality. And if you don't go, then you can find yourself out the door.
Right. So, no, I totally agree. The last company that I worked for, that was very much, hey, we appreciate your loyalty and you will be rewarded for it. For me, was Circuit City. That company is long gone. I loved that company. I had to come forward with some stuff. It was not sexual in any bait. Well, that's not true. I did. And they fired the person, and I had to come forward about another thing that I heard through the grapevine and then witnessed it myself and was like, guys, some fishy's going on here. This is what I've heard. This is what I've seen personally. And because I used to be friends with this person and they also work for the company, am I going to get? And they're like, absolutely not. We appreciate you coming forward. And then I got like a double bonus at the end of the year. So, they're like, hey, thanks for saving us money. We appreciate it. I'm like, you're welcome. Well, I guess.
If these activations are true, and then and they're going to this company, Crafton's going to lose more than just like, besides just money. Dude probably lose his job, or be forced to step down or something. And then on top of that, like, Crafton's going to have to also pay for the wrongful termination, especially if they didn't.
That's the big thing.
Hold this back correctly, because
right.
So, and then on top of that, like, if the state of California, because I know the state of California, if they have openings to sue they will business practices, it's like, now you just added more to the headache because you didn't do it the right freaking way in the first place, and stuff. So I
And
don't know, like it just like it just comes to show that like when you try to protect like shitty people in these situations, like
right.
you're just gonna get hopefully you get your comeuppance, and seems like California definitely will definitely support that support the worker.
I feel like maybe in the future, companies should put a stipulation like, hey, if you were ever found to be at the end of allegations and it is proven to be true, it is your responsibility to then pay for our lawyer fees, this, that, and the other, as far as like retributions to the person. Maybe that will stop. I mean, it won't stop horrible people, but maybe then people at the end of getting, suing, because the company will pay out. But at the end of the day, she doesn't necessarily want that. She wants this from Kevin, right? Kevin Kimball.
But at the same time, though, like this, I mean, no, I think absolutely the company needs to be.
Absolutely, but I think he also needs to be for sure held accountable.
Yeah, but I also think like the money should go both ways, though, too, because first off, that means that your climate.
They didn't help her.
The whole situation of that is built to not help that individual when something like that happens. So yeah,
I agree in this case for sure.
Yeah, so I think that it's definitely. I think it's definitely. If anything, it needs to come out on both sides. Like
the company was negligent for sure.
So I wouldn't take them off the hook on it, even though they're with that company.
No.
Yeah, that's what liable.
Yeah, dude, and I could say as a manager, dude, like that was one of the biggest things as a manager is to protect the company. Mm-hmm. So like having to deal with firings and stuff like that, just being able to see, you know what I mean? Like you got to be careful because, you can say something wrong, then it's going to be your ass because you didn't do the procedures correctly and stuff like that, which again, would be rightfully so, but clearly, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I know if I was in that situation, I would personally be in trouble. It's going to be my ass that's going to be getting in trouble because I didn't do the right things. Whereas, like, it seems like some of these places more work under almost like it's and they are private. I mean, I don't know if they're private companies or considered corporations or, differentiate. But it seems like you can get away with a lot more as a private company as opposed to if it were a corporation.
Yeah. So.
Agreed.
Crazy. That sucks.
It does suck. Hopefully, everything gets. Let's see if they straighten it out or whatever. But God, dude, it's just terrible when you always hear that stuff. When you hear stuff.
Another one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Smitty, why don't you close us out? What are you bringing to the table?
Yeah, we talking about the game that everybody can't stop playing, and it's Power World. This is, and I've always, like, I don't have a problem jumping in on early access and stuff like that. But once I get in and stuff like that, there's a couple of questions I have afterward. And one of the first ones is, where's that roadmap though? So obviously we're finally seeing a roadmap. And again, I think this is just because they didn't anticipate the game being so popular. So they are moving in super scramble mode to get things going and whatnot. We got this roadmap. Obviously there's no dates on it. So who knows when the hell any of this stuff is coming. However, it's at least a peek at things that they're going to be looking to address. And I know they've said that they're about 60% finished with the game. So this is encouraging. Obviously, them fixing and going in and working on bugs. I don't know, again, if this is going to be like a weekly thing, whatever. This is going to really show us, too, what kind of company they are, how they support the game. So, it'll be interesting to see how they go about, kind of doing that stuff. Some of the key configuration improvements to the base PAL AI and pathing. Although I swear there was a thing here the other day. There was an update that was supposed to address that. And it has made things worse. Like the AI is dumber than ever. It's kind of crazy. But for their planned future updates thing, these were the ones that got me all, feeling good. PvP, nice. Raid bosses, which obviously would be a part of endgame content. I think that would be huge to be able to go in and do raid bosses like with a full party of people on your world. Pal Arena, PvP for pals. I think that sounds amazing. That basically is Pokemon. You know what I mean? But still sounds exciting. Steam Xbox crossplay. That's going to be huge. There's so many people right now in the Xbox ecosystem that are walled off from others and being able to really enjoy that full experience with a full loaded server. So that'll be awesome. Once they're able to have those migrations, server transfers, migrations, like I said, improvements to the building system. That'll be huge. Anything that goes with crafting survival games. The building system's got to be something that's locked in. New islands, pals, bosses, and technologies. That gets me excited for all that. Cause again, if this is going to be a live service game, then I hope they're adding on. We don't know if that'll be free or things that are like part of like paid DLCs. We don't know that yet. The other thing I want to know though is when this game comes out of early access, does everything reset? That to me would determine whether I continue playing now or if I just wait.
You wouldn't want to start it all over again if you did?
Oh, that'd be hard, dude. That would be hard for me. Like getting a wipe like that, like
I didn't even think about it.
Okay,
you didn't think about that? That's like one of the first things I think about with early access.
This way though, man. Like what if
he said, look at it this way.
The problem is, it could be exactly what happened with Baldur's Gate 3, man. Because like Baldur's Gate 3 is a shell of what it was in Steam in early access to what it was when it was released. So let's say they did enough to change the system of everything to be like, okay, this game is a night and day different than what Steam Early Access is giving you to what the full release version is. You're telling me that if they overhauled it and they said, hey, you got to start all over from scratch, you wouldn't do it? You wouldn't play it again?
I probably would. I probably would, depending on, again, what kind of things they add. If there's a story that's added or something like that. All right, I could see myself, doing it. But like thinking about all that we've gone through to lose that all now and have to start over. Dude,
how much we got. Oh man,
so many hours. That's why I don't do demos and stuff like that. Or if I do a demo, I'll play once, and I'll be like, all right, dude, I'm good.
That's why you just stop playing early access games and then be like, wait, because if they're going to be making a change. Well, the problem is the studio isn't their record of releasing a game isn't that good. All right,
are you serious?
Yeah, most of the other games that they've made prior to that are still either bad or questionable or still in early access or copies of the other games. So yeah. So I don't know. Don't get me wrong. The organization of them doing this, the difference is that they found the banger of a game that they got a lot of money in a fast period of time. So that's going to give them the incentive to finish this game more than their other games that they have. However, it's hard to say to me, I'm just saying that if they change it or whatever they're planning on doing, or if they did have a plan or whatever it's going to be, and then they decide to say, okay, we got to wipe the servers out, we got to start it again from scratch, it won't be as popular again because all these people who dished out 100 hours in the first week aren't going to come back to it because they've already.
No. I'm not saying that. That is a personal me thing. I feel. I feel like there may be other. There may be other people that feel that way, but not enough to where it would have that much of an impact on it. I think generally most people would, and I would. I most likely would. Mm-hmm. I talk the talk now, but when it push came to shove, especially the fact that I paid for the game, I'll play it again. I'll start from the beginning. I don't care.
Yeah.
See,
we did Lex.
Okay. Donk, by the way, said, is litigate with the copyright owners of Pokemon on the roadmap? So Donk and I had a discussion last night. Well, while he was not playing last night, but a group of us were. He was saying that, it's so close that I think Pokemon has a shot to to litigate. I disagree. I felt like Davis last week disagreed as well. Smitty was like, I kind of agree with Donk. So we'll see. Pokemon did release a statement, by the way, basically just saying they're going to investigate. Okay.
I'm just saying that, hey, if Pokemon hasn't said anything about it now, they already know they already.
They did.
They already got. Oh no, I'm talking about lawyer wise. The second this game came out, the lawyers were.
I was gonna say, you see how quickly the mod got taken down. Like, ain't no way that I don't think they have a leg to stand on, because I think they would already be standing on it.
Correct.
Or,
if they did,
or that they're still taking their time on looking at all of it, all of the facts straight.
That's true.
Into it. So who knows, man? Like if it happens, it happens. But the worst case scenario is this. Oh, okay. So y'all need to not have the Pokemon that the monsters that look so close to the Pokemons that we have in Pokemon in this game, and you're going to create different ones. That's all it's going to be. Not all of them are going to be. Not all of them are going to disappear or whatnot. So I mean, so who the frick cares at this point? Is why I look at it. But I'm sorry. I digress. What were you saying?
I think, okay, well, here's usually how I think of demo versus early access. Demo, game comes out, I lose all my hours. Early access, I keep what I've got, and then I can continue on and backtrack if need be to do storyline, etc. Which usually you don't have to backtrack. It'll just start the storyline where you happen to be at, and then you move forward, right? Mm-hmm. I think, too, our group has figured out the best way and fastest way to level up out of everything that is possible in the game, what works the quickest, and in my opinion, the best way, we would be able to get back to where we are in a matter of days. No problem. We've already had a whole base burned down, like we already conquered that issue. Okay. I don't know who did it, but dang you, Mr. Raid Party. Donk. Yeah, it was Donk.
I wish y'all have a clip of that. That would have been amazing.
From what I've heard, Smitty looked out a window and said, what was it that you said, Smitty?
Why are there a bunch of eggs on the ground?
And Donk said, what do you mean a bunch of eggs on the ground? Because Donk was in chat going, help, it's on fire, help, help, help. And then Smitty goes, why are there a bunch of eggs?
I didn't see a fire. It was a glitch. It was a graphical glitch. I just saw a ton of eggs on the ground.
Yeah, but he didn't see the wall of fire behind it. So yeah, we had a whole base burn down. We quickly learned that stone is the way to go. But
self-combusted though or something. I don't know how that happened.
Dude, we've had so many lamb balls just catch themselves on fire. I would not be surprised if that's
the sun hit the wood at the right.
Somebody had a magnifying glass, one of the dinos. I'm really enjoying the game. I think they've got a leg to stand on, and they've made enough money to go into litigation with Pokemon at this point. So if Pokemon wants to sue, cool. Here we go.
No, you don't want that fight with Nintendo. You just needed to say, okay, we're going to see some decisions going to go on.
Yeah.
You do not want that fight with Nintendo.
Yeah. But it would also depend on where they sue them. So that's key, because if you sue in the United States, fair use laws would support Pal World. If they sue elsewhere, that's maybe a different story. So I'm enjoying the game. I'm loving it. I'm excited for the roadmap. I would love to be able to do like group raids with everybody. That's a lot of fun for me. I feel like it might be a little convoluted with some of us with all the collars that we have on our animals, so they get to stay out. So sometimes I have 3 to 4 animals out at one time. If we're all doing a raid boss, that sucker's gonna die. There is no catching anything at the end of that, But I think it'll be fun. It'll be a blast. I mean, Dust already figured out how to double our server as far as output for the creatures, and it's been crazy since then.
It is a blessing and a curse.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just thinking like I mean, no Pokemon's really fair use though. Like
no. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that fair use laws would. Okay, so there are some similarities in the game, but they're not similar enough. Does that make sense? For instance, Pokemon has stolen from 4 different games.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, okay. I'm just saying, like, the monsters that people. First off, people are just like are just wanting to hate this game. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like people are just wanting to just throw the shade at this game and throw the deal, because you know that for a fact that there's when Nintendo had to make that statement, it wasn't because they needed to do it themselves. It was because
people were getting death threats too.
Everyone was telling them like, "Oh, they Power World, these Pokemon, these things look like for your Pokemon. It's like, you do something about it and stuff." But like, I'm just saying that like it's not like this isn't the first kind of game to raise monsters and stuff like this before, and then you know that there's level of overlaps. Like Digimon monsters might have been the same as Pokemon, or and vice versa, or Monster Rancher characters, or like or like even like Yu-Gi-Oh and all these different kinds of nonsense. I'm just saying there's like different kinds of people that these kind of things. That like it's virtually like it's fine that you're wanting to be like it's like to be inspired by certain Pokemon, and then you make your own thing that's somewhat similar, but it's similar, but it's different enough to not call it the same. So I don't know, man. It's just like it's just so funny to me.
Dog says, "Hey, I like the game, but I got eyes."
Well.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody that's not familiar with Pokemon, thinking about or seeing the characters and stuff like that, I instantly thought Pokemon. Yeah. And I get that they're not like direct rips of them, but like
Donk would disagree with you, and I disagree with Donk. They're not complete rip-offs. Like if you think of, hey, that kind of looks like Pikachu, but you pull up side by side, you're like, oh no.
Close enough, dude. Close enough you color, know what they were doing.
Okay,
you know what they were doing.
You can't say that it's a 1-to-1 though. You could say it's like you could say that this is the Wish.com version of Pikachu or something like that. Like or something like, but like you could, but you know for a fact
cat
that it's
face
not,
instead of rat face.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's. I just find it preposterous that that's what most of these people are trying to kind of get this game on. It's like, oh, there's a bird Pokemon, Pal World thing that you're flying right now. Well, this thing looks like a Pidgeot, just with different colors. It's like, no, it's different enough. Leave me alone.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see how it plays out, because I could see it going either way, to be honest.
And you know what's funny?
I'm not. And again, I love the game. I think it's a lot of fun. I've got no loyalty or anything like that to Pokemon at all. Again, Pokemon was after my time for me personally, and I never got into it. But
that was
like
my
literally. Time. Like looking at them, I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, that's Pokemon."
Worst case scenario of that to be for that. It's not like Nintendo's going to ask to do a cease and desist. That's what Nintendo's going to do. But at the same time, they can't. There's no way in hell in my mind that they could say all of Power World's monsters are Pokemon. There's no way. They're going to have to. They're going to have to be like have the examples of the ones that are close enough to be like, this is just a color swap of this Pokemon or whatever. At the worst
but
case,
none of them are really like that.
And
like
if they did
different horns, different tail, different ears.
Well, do you think though the mechanics will play into it at all?
No.
Using the spheres, them bringing in Power Arena, things that like, and again, I'm not saying those direct things, but would that be something that they try to use to help within their case?
No, I don't think so.
Or the likeness of them.
Because, like, I mean, yeah, the Pow Ball is a Pokeball, essentially, whatever. But, like, I think that, but can you, like, I mean, but if that's the way that you're capturing, like, you're openly capturing the monsters and stuff like that, then who knows, man? I don't think so.
Well, even when we did the first Syndicate, right? That's what they call it. It's not a gym fight, and it's not like when you would go into a gym, you got to fight 3 guys, 2 lackeys, and then the actual gym person, right? And by the time you get to them, all your Pokemon are dead, so it's BS. Sometimes there is a person, sometimes there isn't. There is a glitch where you can steal their Pokemon and the person is still riding them, which is hysterical. But it's not the same. It's very different. And I don't think that they have a leg to stand on there. If they tried, they could, but I feel like that's a waste of their time and energy. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. That's true. And you know what's funny though? Like, even regardless of whatever Power World's going to get, like this is the work. This is the thing I'm wishing that this is going to do for Pokemon. If Pokemon's keeping an eye on this, I just hope they make their games better because they need.
I was gonna say, in reality, how about you step up your game, Pokemon?
Yeah, because like,
very true.
Y'all have been on y'all's high horse for decades, and it has
get off it.
Has clearly shown in the past 2 games that what direction you're going with on your game, with your games, and it's like, and it just people are clearly people are starving for something different or something better than what you have here, So I just think that it's just like hey, this is good. If this is gonna make you better or better on your IP for the IP that everyone that will automatically will buy when it comes out, so be it.
Right.
It's going to make you better. So
no. Hey, friendly competition's never a bad thing. And just a friendly reminder, if you're a fan of Pokemon, you don't have to send death threats to Palworld. It really isn't doing anything conducive, number 1. Number 2, you can like 2 things at the same time. Or you can dislike something and not send death threats. I don't know. Just maybe emotional maturity, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what it is.
You've got far greater expectations for the internet.
I know. I've been getting threats lately, so I'm aware.
But here's the thing, though. Like, I also think that it's just so funny, like just how like where the hatred is of this game, where it's like I just don't get it. It feels like the same, not nowhere near the level of what it was for Harry Potter. But I will still say it is feeling like people are trying, people remember people's claims of just using AI, or they just trace Pokemon and stuff. This has like even been a week and you're hearing all this crazy toxicity for it. So like, but where it comes down to, it doesn't matter because 6 million people and up have been playing it, and I don't know what the concurrent is. Right now, what the concurrent is right now on Palworld. It's still up there. So
do the math. 6 million times $25. Yeah, $24.99. That's a lot. That's a lot of ducats. That's a lot of ducats.
Exactly, a lot of ducats. So yeah, but what I love is that they knew immediately that they're needing to be more organized on it. And I know Smitty's the one that appreciates these roadmaps more than anything.
Can I ask a question? I love roadmaps too, though. Dreamlight Valley roadmaps. Whoop! Yep. I like you guys. So, question: who put out the Pokemon mod? Do we know? Was that just some rando that was like, ha, look what I can do? And like you could purchase the mod and then initiate it? How did that work? It was immediately taken down. Wow. Yeah. I want to say within like a 24-hour period, but there was Pokemon mod. So you could look like Ash, you could have Pikachu, you would have one of the 3 starters. Like that's how it worked. And it basically turned all of your pals into the Pokemon adjacent equivalent. Or close enough. Some of them there aren't, but but that was taken down within 24 hours. I feel like I Googled for a while the other night and I couldn't really get an answer.
Yeah, Nintendo was wrong. I'm not sure exactly who it was.
They cease and desisted, and PAL was like, we were already on that. Yeah, Palworld was already on it. They were like, absolutely not. Like that would get us in trouble. Yeah, so why do that to themselves?
They do it immediately, and then they said specifically. You know what? We don't want to get sued. We're not gonna get sued by Nintendo immediately towards that. So, they're like,
you play yourself.
Yeah, you play yourself. Essentially, it's freaking hilarious. They're like, oh nope, we've seen this game. This is not gonna happen. Shut that down fast because even though it's $6 million that they got, and then it's 24, like they got a lot of money on that. You do not. The rule of thumb is you do not want to mess with Nintendo. That's just what it comes down with. Nintendo does not mess around with legal matters. So. So.
All I really care about is a good game.
Yeah.
And a game that I'm having fun playing, to me, is a good game. Whether it's a great game, only time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I would say at least it's a good game. I don't think it's for everybody. I am a survival crafting. I like that genre of games. So throwing in the animals and all that stuff, that just like I was like, "Ooh, this is a fun variety that I haven't really had in a survival crafting game. This is fun for me." You know?
Oh, I found my.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, what is that? What's that sound effect? Am I hearing something? Oh, okay. Oh no, I must have.
I don't know.
I must have sound coming from somewhere. But anyways, guys, we'll just stop it. Oh, okay. There we go. I found it. There we go. All right, but no, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, like for me, I haven't played Power World yet. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna wait till the game comes out. If I did, I
Might be too little, too late for you, buddy.
Yeah, I don't care.
I'm just kidding.
2 years, 2 years, 3 years. And if I don't ever play the game, it's not like I'm gonna cry and say I missed out because I don't usually play these games anyway. So we're good.
And again, I feel like games like that are more, they end up turning into sandboxes where people start creating their own like games and things within the world, which is, you know, again, that's a lot of fun. So I'm curious to see with that studio how much support they put into this game. Obviously, they are all eyes. Whatever they were working on before has definitely taken a back seat to this right now. This is like that lightning in a bottle. This is like when Fortnite was really kicking off, and they looked at Paragon and were like, deuces, everything's going to Fortnite.
Right?
This is that moment for them.
I do have breaking news.
What?
I figured out who created the mod for Power World. It was a YouTuber. I'm not going to give him any more clout. But he had it on his Patreon. Like you could purchase the mod through him. So he capitalized on it, and Nintendo is coming for him. He's in a lot of trouble. He had nothing to do with Power World. Number one. Number two, he does this all the time. It's basically a cash grab scam. So
yeah. But anyways, guys, folks, thank you for listening to episode number 205 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. We will be back again next week, but in the meantime, if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We release it on all podcast services at the beginning of each and every week. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on all 6 voices.
Ooh, that was awful. Sorry.
That wasn't the worst one, I would say. But also be sure to go check out our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, where you can see all the new interviews and reviews that we have on all the games and people that we love to talk to. So, guys, once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing out. Y'all, take it easy.
Bye-bye.